Hello and welcome back. So back in 2015, I got into music, and in 2016, I learned you could actually make your own beats, and so of course that's what I did. I got into university short after, and that was back in 2016. I came in for engineering, and it was more of like I didn't know if that was what I was going to end up doing, basically. So I wanted to do engineering as my sort of money-making career, and the music on the side, and through that I'm able to sort of I'm able to sustain myself and do what I like. It was bad, I didn't do great, but there was one class I got an A+, and it was my best grade, probably one of my best grades all through university, and that was my multimedia and web design course. That was how I eventually did buy I bought a used iPad from a friend, and I started doing these little illustrations of my friends, and eventually sort of got down into the rabbit hole of graphic design through YouTube. And of course I was like, okay, this is great. You can actually do a career that involves technology and the visual arts. And of course I didn't want to leave any of my things behind. Well, luckily my school had an interdisciplinary program. I had to essentially pitch a program for the university to do, just kind of designed to my own specification, coming up with what exactly do I want to be doing in my profession and what kind of studies will apply to that. Eventually came up with a degree called Digital Arts and Multimedia Design, and then I graduated. And I currently work in marketing, which is it has a lot of variety. There's a lot of range in what I do. Even with that, there is still the sense of how do I balance that job and all the other side pursuits. So I've picked up things from writing, I've picked up illustration. During COVID, I switched a lot from photography, which I did get into while I was in university. When the pandemic hit, we were all locked away, and as somebody who took primarily portraits, there wasn't much I could do. And so I went from self-portraits to sort of just giving up altogether on the photography thing and then leaning into illustration. Yeah, over the course of the past 6-7 years, there's a lot that I've done. I mean, a photographer is not necessarily always an illustrator, and a programmer or front-end developer is not always a content writer, all that kind of stuff. And so the question for me became, well, I want to do all these things, then how do I integrate them as I did in university? So I recently read this book, How to Be Everything by Emily Watnick. I discovered it during the pandemic. I used to see people comment on the concept of the multi-potentialite on YouTube. I kind of was into that rabbit hole. It sounded very much like that's me, this is me. This describes the kind of person that I am and the kind of work I want to do. So I decided I'd buy the book, but it took a few years. And now it's 2024. I read it at the end of last year. I'm kind of getting ready for the new year and creating a course of action, and that led me to learn about various concepts as to how to balance it, and eventually led to the creation of my own newsletter, Master of Some, which is a concept I got from that book, as well as another book called Garden City, which I'll talk about more. So, basically, right now my main focus is trying to build a career that works around everything that I do. How to do that, how to build that kind of thing. I mean, hey, if I did it in school, why can't I do it now? That led me to the creation of my newsletter, Master of Some. Master of Some is a newsletter where I go over topics related to seeking out variety as well as mastery in whatever profession or career somebody's doing. It's specifically geared towards creative industry people. So things like people like designers or writers, illustrators, photographers, things like that. Basically, if you do those types of things, that's how you can. That's what I'm making it for you. So, yeah. But I'm also making it for me as a way to sort of navigate this career that I'm choosing.